Bitch, I can make orange rhyme with banana. Or nana. Eating pork.
Welcome to this week's edition of the 007 Shady Show.
And I'm Eminem, and I write for the Slim Shady Post.
The name's Bond, James Bond, and I write for the New Bond Times.
Today, we're going to be reviewing the film Remember the Titans.
Remember the Titans was about a newly integrated white and black high school football team who absolutely resented each other. But over time, they overcame their prejudices and became good friends once they realized they needed each other to play. Throughout the course of the school year, they won all their games and eventually became the state champions of football. Remember the Titans had numerous dynamic characters, an emotional climax, and even an inspiring theme.
Hey, don't forget, Remember the Titans also had unjust conflicts, impactful theme, with some excellent cinematography, almost as good as my latest album.
To begin with, many dynamic characters added variety into the film, which made it interesting. For example, in this spot, Gary the white guy is trying to single out all the black guys.
You want honesty? Alright, honestly, I think you're nothing.
In this next spot, he starts to show some respect for them. This change happens to almost all the characters, and it characterizes them together as a team, instead of focusing on one singular person, which kind of makes it boring for the film. This way, it makes it unique.
Well, also can't forget about the unjust conflicts that we see all throughout the movie. Now, these conflicts are shown through a society versus society lens, which, I mean, that's crazy, huh? So, like, one personal favorite of an example in the movie happens when Coach Boone actually gets a brick thrown through his window.
Hey, Coach Boone!
That's some messed up stuff right there. I mean, like, just because he's a colored coach, he gets a brick thrown through his window. So, I mean, personally, like, I think that, like, is probably messed up.
Also, the movie had an emotional climax which elevated the movie. For instance, in Julius' speech here, he talks like a leader and gives an emotional, motivating pep talk.
I ain't saying that I'm perfect, because I'm not. And I ain't gonna never be. None of us are. But we have won every single game we have played till now. So this team is perfect.
This moment touches the audience. As it energizes the team, they go back and win from a losing comeback state.
There they are!
Yo, we're back.
Sorry, I had to take care of that guy. My friend Eminem here.
Hey, it's Slim.
Slim has more to say on the subject.
Well, I think Remember the Titans has a really powerful theme, but one in particular that stood out to me was how important it is to change yourself and work together with others to overcome some obstacles. Now, one scene in the movie in particular that I think really worked well was through the Titans. At first, they didn't work together. Their team was it was trash, right? It was trash, just like Jay-Z. Now, right when we get into the climax of the movie, they start working together. They start doing all this stuff together. And they overcome, they change with themselves. And I think that means a lot, man. I think that if you could change yourself, that's a big theme in the movie. And if you all can work together, you can all achieve anything you want to.
Finally, the film contained an influential theme, which gave the movie a deep meaning. To give you an idea here, Coach Yo's daughter is explaining the theme of how, even though people can disagree, they should always go for peace instead of hate.
People say that it can't work, black and white. Well, here we make it work every day. We have our disagreements, of course. But before we reach for hate, always, we remember the Titans.
I mean, here, every day people disagree and start whole arguments about it.
Good night!
Anyways, this applies daily and is extremely relatable to everybody, which gives it the engagement to the audience it needs. And they can take that lesson into their heart and use it every day. That's why the theme has such an influential meaning.
Hey, last but not least, the movie has exceptional cinematography. The producer did an amazing job making all the scenes feel real. And one scene, for example, was the one where Gary and Julius were talking in the hospital.
Alice, are you blind? Don't you see the family resemblance? It's my brother.
Gary just lost his whole career. He just was paralyzed by a car crash, and now they're talking with each other. And when they're talking, you feel like you're in their circle. You know, you feel like you're with them there in the movie. Now, I think that this scene in particular really represents the whole movie. There's scenes like this throughout the entire movie, and it really makes you feel like you're a part of the time and a part of the culture, you know? So I think that the producer did a great job giving the cinematography to the next level, making the movie even better.
You done? Or do you want me to shoot you now? All in all, Remember the Titans used many dynamic characters and an emotional climax to portray the influential theme. The dynamic characters added variety into the film through its progressing characterization, while the climax elevated the mood from the beginning and heartwarming speech Julius made. These advance the film toward the theme, which gives a deep connection to the audience with this relatable lesson. All of these movie elements made it an excellent film with my recommendation.
Alright, well, on a final note, I think that the director of this movie did an excellent job through all different areas of a movie. Now, what you want to see in a movie is good plot, good development, strong characters, strong theme, all this stuff. And Bojack can put it all into one movie, which makes my recommendations super high.
Thanks for watching the 007 Shady Show. Join us next week when we review Birdman, The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance. I'm James Bond, and I've got enemies to catch, bombs to defuse, and people to kill.
I'm Slim Shady, and I'll catch you when I drop my album, September 27th, 2023. Mike, drop.